The shopping mall, the iconic zombie survival location. You've seen it in the movies. Dawn of the Dead. Plenty of food, plenty of supplies, plenty of space. Lock the doors, board up the windows, and wait it out in comfort while the world falls apart outside. It's the perfect plan, right? Wrong. Welcome to Survival Theorem, where we analyze survival scenarios with logic, not Hollywood fantasy. Today we're breaking down whether you could actually survive a zombie apocalypse in a shopping mall. And spoiler alert, the movies lied to you. Let's find out why. Let's start with why malls look so appealing on paper, because there are legitimate advantages that make them seem like ideal survival locations. First and most obvious, resources. A shopping mall is essentially a concentrated supply depot. You've got food courts packed with restaurants, each with industrial kitchens and stockrooms full of ingredients. Grocery stores, if the mall has them, with aisles of canned goods, dried foods, and packaged supplies. Pharmacies loaded with medicine, first aid supplies, vitamins, and over-the-counter treatments for every ailment imaginable. Then you've got clothing stores for seasonal gear, winter coats, boots, thermal wear when it gets cold. Light clothing for summer heat, shoes for every terrain. You're not going to freeze or overheat, at least not initially. Hardware stores or home improvement sections give you tools, hammers, crowbars, axes, saws. Everything you need to fortify, repair, or build. Sporting goods stores are goldmine locations. Camping gear, knives, bats, protective equipment. Some even have firearm sections depending on the state and the store. Electronics stores provide batteries, flashlights, radios, communication devices. Entertainment too, which matters more than you think for psychological survival. Books, games, movies. Keeping your mind occupied prevents you from losing it. Then there's furniture stores. Actual beds to sleep in, couches, comfort items that maintain some sense of normalcy. And let's not forget the bathrooms, the running water, at least initially, and the climate control systems that keep you from roasting or freezing. Everything you need to survive is under one roof. No scavenging required. No dangerous supply runs to multiple locations. It's all right there. That's a massive tactical advantage in the early days of an outbreak. Now let's talk about the structure itself. Malls are big, but they're also designed with limited entry points. Most malls have 4 to 6 main entrances. That's it. Everything else is emergency exits that can be chained shut from the inside. Limiting entry points means you have fewer places to defend. Every store has security gates, those metal rolling shutters that come down at closing time. You can seal off entire sections of the mall, creating layers of defense. Even if zombies breach the outer perimeter, you can retreat behind store gates and hold secondary positions. The building is concrete and steel. It's not some wooden house that can be torn apart. The structure is solid. Upper floors give you a height advantage. Zombies can't climb stairs well, if at all depending on the zombie type we're dealing with. You can funnel them into choke points, control the flow, and defend from elevated positions. Large windows throughout the mall provide visibility. You can see outside. You can monitor the entrances. You can watch for approaching threats. Knowledge is power, and visibility gives you knowledge. Loading docks in the back of the mall offer alternative exit routes. If the main entrances are compromised, you've got industrial doors and truck bays you can use to escape. Multiple exits mean you're not trapped with only one way out. And here's something people underestimate: space for community. A mall can house hundreds of people. You can organize different areas for different functions. A medical area in the pharmacy, sleeping quarters in the furniture stores, an armory in the sporting goods section, a command center with security monitors, kitchens in the food court. You can build an actual functioning society with division of labor, specialists, organization. In the early days, a mall gives you everything you need: safety, supplies, shelter, and the potential for a thriving survivor community. It seems perfect, but it's not. Not even close. Because every single advantage I just listed comes with a fatal flaw that will kill you. Let's break down why malls are actually death traps. Problem number 1. You're not the only person who thought of this. Malls are obvious. Everyone knows they're full of supplies. When the outbreak hits and people panic, where do they go? The mall. It's instinct, it's familiar. It's where they know resources are. So you're not securing a mall with your small group of friends. You're competing with hundreds, maybe thousands of other people who had the exact same idea. And they're all arriving at the same time in a state of absolute panic. This isn't a calm, organized occupation. This is a mob scene. People smashing through doors, looting stores, fighting over supplies, hoarding resources. No leadership, no coordination, just chaos. The moment you step into that mall, you're not joining a community of survivors working together. You're entering a war zone where desperate people will do anything to secure resources for themselves and their families. And here's the thing about large groups. They make noise. Lots of noise. Screaming, fighting, breaking glass, alarms going off. All of that attracts zombies. A mall with 1,000 people inside is a beacon. It's announcing to every zombie in a 5-mile radius that there's fresh meat here. So now you're dealing with two threats: the horde of zombies outside and the mob of panicked humans inside. And statistically, the humans are more dangerous in the short term. Problem number 2. Malls are impossible to fully secure. Yes, they have limited main entrances, but they're also made almost entirely of glass. Floor-to-ceiling windows, glass doors, skylights, atriums. Glass is everywhere because malls are designed to be open, bright, and welcoming. They're designed for shopping, not defense. Glass breaks easily. A zombie horde pushing against those windows? They're coming through. A panicked human with a brick? They're coming through. One weak point is all it takes, and suddenly your secure perimeter is compromised. And let's talk about all the other access points. Air ducts, service corridors, maintenance tunnels, delivery entrances, emergency exits, rooftop access. Every single one of these is a potential breach point. You can't monitor them all. You don't have enough people, and even if you did, you can't stay alert 24/7. The parking garage is its own nightmare. Multi-level, dark, full of hiding spots and blind corners. Zombies could be anywhere in there. And that's your only vehicle access point. Every supply run requires navigating through that death maze. Once zombies get into the parking garage, and they will, you've lost your mobility. Then there are the stores themselves, hundreds of individual spaces, each with their own layouts, back rooms, storage areas. How do you clear all of them? How do you make sure there's not a zombie or a bitten human hiding in a changing room or a stock room? You can't, not thoroughly, not with limited people and time. You think you've secured the mall, but you haven't. You've secured some of it, maybe. The rest is unknown territory, and unknown territory gets you killed. Problem number 3. Resources disappear faster than you think. Yes, there's a lot of food in a mall, but it's not unlimited, and it's not renewable. Let's do the math. 100 people need roughly 2,000 calories per day each. That's 200,000 calories daily for your group. Even with strict rationing, you're burning through supplies at an alarming rate. The food court restaurants? Their stockrooms are designed for daily deliveries, not long-term storage. They might have a week or two of supplies at most. Then they're empty. The grocery store, if there is one? Sure, more supplies there. But it's designed to be restocked constantly. Without deliveries, you've got maybe a month of food for 100 people if you're lucky, and ration carefully. And here's the critical problem. It's all packaged food, processed, preserved, but with expiration dates. Canned goods last longest, but fresh food? Gone within days. Frozen food? Gone the moment the power fails, which it will. Dairy, meat, produce, all spoiling rapidly. You can't grow more food in a mall. There's no soil, no sunlight for most of the interior, no way to farm or cultivate crops. You can't raise animals. You can't hunt. Every calorie you consume is one less calorie available, and there's no way to replenish it. Water is even worse. The mall has water initially, supplied by city infrastructure. But when the water treatment plants fail, when the pumps stop working, when the pipes run dry, you're done. And that happens fast. Days, maybe a week into the apocalypse. You can't survive without water. A mall has no natural water source, no well, no river, no lake. You're entirely dependent on whatever's in the pipes and whatever you can scavenge from bottles in stores. That's not sustainable. Medicine depletes too. Injuries happen. Sickness spreads. You use up the first aid supplies, the antibiotics, the painkillers. Then what? You can't manufacture more. You can't restock. People die from infections that would be treatable with medicine you no longer have. The mall gives you abundance temporarily, but it's a false abundance. It's a countdown clock to starvation and dehydration, and that clock is ticking faster than you realize. Problem number 4. Infrastructure collapse destroys your advantages. The power goes out. Maybe not immediately, but within days or weeks. And when it does, everything changes. No electricity means no lights. The mall is designed with minimal natural lighting in most areas. It's designed to be artificially lit. When the lights go out, you're navigating in near total darkness. Flashlights and batteries only last so long. You're stumbling around, vulnerable, unable to see threats. No refrigeration means all the frozen and refrigerated food spoils immediately. Thousands of pounds of meat, dairy, and produce rotting. The smell alone is unbearable. But worse, it creates a health hazard. Disease vectors, contamination. No climate control means you're at the mercy of the weather. If it's summer, the mall becomes an oven. Concrete and glass trap heat. Temperatures inside soar. People die of heat stroke. If it's winter, the opposite problem. No heating means freezing temperatures. Hypothermia becomes a real threat. No water pressure means toilets don't flush. With 100 people and no working plumbing, sanitation collapses within days. Human waste accumulates. Disease spreads. Cholera, dysentery, typhoid. You're living in a biohazard zone. No security systems means you can't monitor cameras. You can't track movement. You're blind to what's happening in other parts of the mall. Zombies could be breaching, other survivors could be raiding, and you wouldn't know until it's too late. The mall stops being a comfortable fortress and becomes a dark, filthy, dangerous concrete box. All the advantages evaporate the moment the power fails. Problem number 5. The horde grows stronger while you grow weaker. Every day you stay in the mall, more zombies arrive. Drawn by noise, drawn by the sight of the building, drawn by the hundreds of people inside making sounds and smells that zombies track. At first, maybe there are dozens outside, then hundreds, then thousands. They don't leave. They don't get bored. They don't need food or water or rest. They just wait, and more keep coming. Eventually, the sheer weight and pressure of the horde starts breaking things. Glass windows crack under the pressure of bodies. Doors buckle. Gates bend. Zombies don't need strategy. They just push and push and push. Eventually, something gives. Meanwhile, you're getting weaker. You're rationing food, so you're malnourished. You're not getting enough sleep because of guard duty rotations. You're stressed, exhausted, and morale is collapsing. Disease is spreading because of the sanitation nightmare. People are dying. The zombies get stronger by numbers while you get weaker by attrition. That's a losing equation. Problem number 6. Internal conflict becomes inevitable. Put 100 desperate people in a confined space with dwindling resources, and what happens? They turn on each other. Different groups form. Different leaders emerge. Everyone has different ideas about how to ration supplies, who gets what, who's in charge, what the rules are. Arguments escalate into fights. Fights escalate into violence. People start hoarding, stealing from the communal supplies, hiding resources for themselves. Trust breaks down. Paranoia sets in. Then someone gets bitten. And they don't tell anyone because they're scared, or in denial, or hoping they'll be fine. They turn inside the mall. Now you've got an internal outbreak on top of everything else. Or maybe a group decides they want to take over. They've got weapons from the sporting goods store. They outnumber your group. They force you out, or worse, they kill you and take your supplies. You're not just defending against zombies, you're defending against human nature. And human nature under extreme stress is ugly, violent, and unpredictable. Let's talk about the realistic timeline of what happens if you try to survive in a mall. Week 1 is the golden period. The power might still be on. Resources are abundant. You've got hundreds of people who might be organizing into some kind of community. The zombie presence outside is manageable. You've got defensible positions. You feel safe. You feel like maybe this can work. Survival rating for week 1? 8 out of 10. It's actually not bad. Weeks 2 through 4, the decline begins. The power fails. Fresh food is gone. Water is becoming scarce. Conflicts are increasing as people realize the resources are finite. The zombie horde outside is growing. The smell of rot is everywhere, both from zombies and spoiled food. Morale is dropping. People are getting sick. Survival rating drops to 5 out of 10. It's getting bad. Months 2 and 3, you enter the desperation phase. Canned goods are running low. Medicine is nearly gone. Sanitation is a complete disaster. Disease is spreading. People are dying, not from zombies, but from starvation, dehydration, and illness. The remaining survivors are fighting over scraps. Some people try to leave and are killed by the horde. Others refuse to leave and die inside. Survival rating is down to 2 out of 10. You're barely hanging on. Month 4 and beyond, it's over. There's no food left. You're forced to make supply runs into streets crawling with thousands of zombies. Most people who go out don't come back. The mall is a tomb filled with corpses, human waste, and the walking dead. If you're still there, you're not surviving. You're already dead. Survival rating, 0 out of 10. That's the reality. Not years of comfortable survival like the movies suggest. Weeks to months at absolute best, and only if everything goes right, which it won't. So let's compare the mall to other survival locations and see how it actually stacks up. Mall versus apartment. The mall has way more supplies initially. An apartment has almost nothing by comparison. But the apartment is way more defensible. Smaller space, fewer entry points, less attractive to other survivors and zombies. The apartment can stay hidden. The mall cannot. For long-term survival, the apartment actually wins if you can solve the supply problem. Mall versus military base. The base has weapons, trained personnel, fortifications designed for combat, and discipline. The mall has civilian supplies and chaos. The base wins in almost every category except maybe comfort items. But comfort doesn't matter when you're dead. Mall versus warehouse. Both have similar supply levels and similar security problems. But a warehouse has fewer access points, less glass, and is less attractive to desperate civilians who might not even know it's there. The warehouse is actually the better version of the mall concept. Mall versus rural farmhouse. The farmhouse has almost no supplies compared to the mall, but it has land to grow food, a well for water, isolation from zombie hordes, and sustainability. Long term, the farmhouse wins by a mile because it's not a countdown to starvation. The mall looks good on paper, but in practice, it loses to almost every other option when you factor in sustainability and long-term viability. Let's talk about why Hollywood lied to you, because those zombie movies made malls look so good. In Dawn of the Dead, 4 people hold an entire shopping mall indefinitely. They have power, they have abundant supplies. The zombies never break through the glass. No other survivors show up to complicate things. There's no disease, no sanitation issues, no resource depletion. It's fantasy. The movie ignores every realistic problem because those problems aren't entertaining. Watching characters slowly starve or die of dysentery isn't fun. Watching them fight off hordes is. But reality doesn't care about entertainment value. In reality, that mall would be overrun or abandoned within a month. The survivors would be forced to leave or die trying to stay. Movies give people a false sense of security about malls. They make it seem viable when it's not. And that's dangerous because it might actually influence real decisions in a real crisis. So if you find yourself in a mall when the apocalypse starts, here's what you actually do to maximize your survival odds. Do not try to secure the entire mall. That's impossible. Secure one section. Ideally, a second-floor location away from main entrances. Pick a cluster of stores that have supplies you need. A sporting goods store, a grocery or food court location, a pharmacy. Fortify that section with furniture, shelves, anything heavy. Don't rely on security gates alone. Immediately take inventory of everything in your secured zone. Food, water, medicine, weapons, tools. Know exactly what you have and how long it will last with strict rationing. Keep your group small, 10 people maximum. More than that, and you'll burn through resources too fast and have too much internal conflict. Quality over quantity. Pick people with useful skills and stable mentalities. Establish guard rotations immediately. 2 people on watch at all times. 1 watching your perimeter, 1 watching the interior. Zombies aren't your only threat. Avoid the parking garage entirely unless absolutely necessary. It's a death trap. If you need vehicles, get them early and park them near a loading dock exit, not in the garage. Set up a rainwater collection system if possible. Rooftop access, tarps, containers. Water is more important than food. Start collecting immediately. Ration strictly from day 1. Assume no resupply is coming. Make everything last as long as possible. 2 meals a day, smaller portions. It's not comfortable, but it extends your timeline. And here's the most important part. Start planning your exit immediately. The mall is not your final destination. It's a staging ground. Use it to gather gear, weapons, preserved food, medical supplies, clothing. Prepare bug-out bags for every member of your group. Identify your exit route. Scout the surrounding area from upper floor windows. Find where you're going next. Then within 2 to 3 weeks, you leave. Don't wait for the situation to deteriorate. Don't wait until you're forced out by starvation or a breach. Leave while you still have strength, supplies, and options. Use the mall to prepare for the next phase of survival, not as a permanent solution. Anyone who stays longer than a month is making a fatal mistake. Best case scenario, you're one of the first people to arrive at the mall. You move fast and secure a small, defensible section before the crowds show up. You keep your group tiny, under 10 people, all of whom are capable and trustworthy. You immediately start rationing and preparing to leave. You use the mall's resources to outfit yourself for mobile survival. You leave within 2 weeks, before the power fails and before the horde grows too large. You head for rural areas with land, water, and sustainability. In that scenario, the mall serves its purpose as a supply depot, and you might actually make it. Survival time frame, 2 to 3 weeks maximum. Worst case scenario, you arrive late. The mall is already packed with hundreds of panicked people. Multiple factions are fighting for control. Resources are being wasted or hoarded. The zombie horde is already surrounding the building, drawn by all the noise and activity. The power is failing. There's no organization, no leadership, no plan. You're caught between the zombies outside and the chaos inside. In that scenario, you're dead within days, maybe hours. So here's the final verdict on shopping mall survival. Survival rating, 4 out of 10. The pros: abundant supplies initially, shelter and climate control temporarily, potentially defensible if you act fast and keep your group small. The cons: everyone targets malls, so you're competing with crowds. Impossible to fully secure because of all the glass and access points. No sustainability because you can't grow food or access renewable water. Attracts massive zombie hordes because of the size and activity. Resource depletion happens rapidly with no way to resupply and zero long-term viability. The bottom line, a mall is a temporary staging ground, not a fortress. Use it to gather supplies, organize a small group, and prepare for your next move. Anyone who tries to hold a mall long-term is signing their death warrant. It's not sustainable, it's not defensible, and it's not going to work. Hollywood lied. The mall is a trap. It looks like salvation, but it's just a more comfortable way to die. The smart survivors grab what they need and get out before it becomes a tomb. So could you survive a zombie apocalypse in a mall? Maybe for a few weeks if everything goes right. But if you're still there after a month, you're not surviving. You're just dying slower. And when the end comes, whether it's starvation, disease, or the horde finally breaking through, you'll realize the truth. You should have left when you had the chance. That's the survival theorem on shopping malls. If you want to survive, you need to think beyond the obvious choices. You need sustainability, not just supplies. You need isolation, not community chaos. And you need to understand that the places that look safest are often the most dangerous. Subscribe for more tactical survival analysis. Next time, we're analyzing whether military bases actually give you better odds, or if they're just another type of trap. We're also diving into celebrity survival assessments. because we want to know if people like The Rock or Shohei Ohtani would actually make it. Stay sharp, stay logical, and when the dead rise, don't head to the mall, because everyone else will be there too, and that's exactly where you don't want to be. Stay alive.